I do the same thing I told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I
你拉什么拉？你不要动手好不好？你凭什么拉我？干什么？凭什么拉我？你干什么？你凭什么拉我？你打呀！你凭什么拉我？你以为你是个男的我就怕你是？你他妈就准！
Hi everyone, my name is Chu Jiashen. So today I would like to talk about the detail of this incident. The incident happened in Hengdian on May 1 holiday. A pair of mother and doctor from Sichuan came to Hengdian tourism. Tourists were also crowded. The ticket office queue was very many people. Suddenly, this pair of mother and doctor to cut in line caused the discontent of people behind. Someone in the theory only to hear this pair of mother and doctor in the cursing and say Sichuan people are not good to mess with. The story started when this mother and doctor jumped into the young man line from the back left. The woman was pulled back and expressed her great dissatisfaction. So she began to scold the young man, and before long, the mother joined the argument. As for the young man, he did not scold the mother and doctor, but patiently persuaded them. But the mother and doctor had a great ill feeling towards the young man and also felt that it was not unreasonable for them to jump the queue. After the incident caused a huge stir online, the person in question also came up to clarify. She said she did not cut the line, but came up from a little bit of the pile of people below the stairs and did not rush the front to cut the line. When she got the front of the line, she saw that it said annual card land and group land, and realized that she did not have an annual card and did not join a group. So she was ready to move to the cashier land next to her.
Cutting in line is obviously a bad action and this should never be encouraged. Jumping line is rude and inconsiderate to everyone queuing in the line. However, queue jumping is a widespread phenomenon that some people will choose to ignore it, but there are still some brave people who are enough brave to speak out and express their view to people who jump queue. The typical queuing lines are less and less noticeable as you start moving closer to the ticket counter. Some people simply enter and settle themselves between the line or middle of the line. Others can make effort to take up a spot near the front or in the middle of the line. They also hope to be absorbed and through the line through osmosis. The solutions and this strategy were never entirely anticipated. This incident also contains a significant amount of moral kidnapping, which means a phenomenon that people use excessive or irrational standards to demand, force or harm others while blaming them for their actions. For example, the mother and the daughter in that video who cut queue not only refused to acknowledge their own errors but blaming others and shift the responsibility to others, which is very unfair to every single people who are queuing in the line. So because other people, they do not have the obligation to wait and wasting their time because of this mother and daughter errors. So cutting in front of others and pointing the fingers to others are morally wrong. As humans, we want things to be fair. We try to be fair to ourselves and to other people, and we react negatively when we see things that are very unfair. So cutting the queue is an unreasonable act that violates the fairness principle by depriving others of their legitimate rights and interest in the queue. So fairness and understanding can be more effectively promoted by communicating with others in a polite and respectful manner. Cutting line and blaming others involve several moral ideals such as the rules of reciprocity, fairness and respect. When someone is impolite or condescending towards someone else, this violates social rules. The recipients of such behavior will most likely to avoid dealing with this kind of people or individual. So the idea of treating others fairly and respecting their rights and interests is one of the moral tenets of fairness. When someone jumps in queue, they are breaking the fairness principle since they are gaining an unfair advantage or privilege. So other individuals may become also enraged and perceive injustice because of this. Respect is another moral principle that is connected to respecting the rights and dignity of others. Jumping the queue and putting blame on others might show a lack of respect of others because it disregards their needs and rights. Interpersonal relationships might also suffer from such behavior like cutting queue, which can also lead to conflict and dissatisfaction. The basis of social collaboration and mutual trust may be threatened by this uneven and unfair behavior. The moral principles of justice, respect, and reciprocity are all involved in the act of cutting in front of others and blaming other people. So these principles are very important for social interactions, support, and also maintaining for fair and healthy interpersonal relationships.
A lot of technology industry, it has become the norm to everyone have a mobile phone. The prevalence of social media has made it a part of people's daily life. But not everyone on the internet is wise enough to use the technology with care. But instead, there are those who use the banner of freedom of speech to practice cyberbullying. Many people have taken on the role of keyboard hero in the virtual worlds of the internet, and whenever they find anyone who disagrees with them, they hide behind the screen and turn their words into sharp knife. Some even call out on their friend to join them in the cyberbullying camp, to stand on the so-called moral high ground, to point a finger to others, to enjoy the victory. In my opinion, one of the key factors in the spread of online violence is the standing of moral high ground. In other words, cyberbullying is when netizens take the moral high ground and lash out the person in question without regard the real situation or the feelings of the person concerned. What is the moral high ground? The moral high ground is the belief that one's own morality is absolute truth and criticize others from God's perspective. Even a person had done something immoral, a reasonable person would only criticize him for that one thing. But in our story above, it's clear that cutting the line and cursing was the mother and the daughter's problems. But it isn't becoming a reason, an excuse for cyberbullying for netizens on the internet. Make the hell joke, edit the video, and personal attack, cursing others. The pressure on our mind of cyberbullying is often greater than we can imagine. The lack of rationality and moderation in the online world means that any internet user can become the target of bullying. This culture is prevalent in politics area, entertainment industry, even in school. So we can see that many of those who are bullied choose to end their life to escape further bullying. So it often takes time for these accidents to reach the newspaper before they are met with public to feel so sorry. So the next part is ethic theory study, which relevant is ethic of care. It occurred on the importance of considering the well-being of others, fostering sympathy and compassion towards others. In this case, the mother and daughter's behavior may seen as a lack of consideration of others and failure to cultivate a sense of sympathy and compassion towards others waiting in the line. Next is utilitarianism ethic, which evaluates the situation based on the consequence of mother and daughter's action cutting the line and become conflict and tension in the community and may cause harm to others' well-being.
Nice.
After the discussion, we agreed that the biggest problem of this case was still triggered by the mother and doctor. Although the woman made a clarification online, her explanation was all self-centered and did not take into account the feeling of others. When the mother and doctor realized they were in the wrong lane, what they should have done was get back in line in the correct lane, not cut in line. According to the person's explanation, her carelessness will also allow the tourist attraction to make improvement. For the scenic spot, first of all, you can set up clearer and clearer signs. While if there are too many tourists in the scenic spot, you can arrange volunteers to guide the queue at the end of the line and remind the middle of the line in time to maintain order. In addition to mother and doctor, netizens should also reflect on their own word and action, should not make excessive behavior, say hurtful language. This matter should be supervised by the person in charge of the tourist attraction, not by the netizen to blame the mother and doctor. In this case, we can adopt virtual ethics to criticize this matter. It emphasizes the development of moral quality and virtues such as honesty, compassion, and empathy. The mother and doctor action can be seen as lacking this virtue because they put their own interests and feeling above the interests of others. From the incident itself, the act of cutting in line would have been inconsistent with social justice or moral codes. And after the incident broke out, the word, action, and performance of the people involved have sparked some controversy and question.